This is Philosophy for Chads. Today I'm going to talk about why reading is for nerds. This is the lake where an imp appeared on Nietzsche's shoulder and taught him about the eternal recurrence of the same. Nietzsche goes on to write, "Thus spake Zarathustra," where he insists that everyone being able to learn to read ruins, in the long run, writing and then thinking. He's right, of course. He's complaining about the Prussian school system, which, since the 1840s, has been trying to industrialize the very Protestant kingdom of Prussia. The Prussians do a Protestant ethic thing, and they insist that everyone learn to read. Not the Bible, of course, but factory floor instructions. It works. The US comes to imitate that. We build Ford, General Electric, and General Motors, along with a lot of other companies, and they pioneer something after the Second World War called middle management. The United States develops a labor movement, starts insisting on having full employment. The size of our public universities explodes. The University of California system employs more people doing science on one coast than ever before in human history. The progress of technology, along with the transistor, eventually converts most of our industrial work into knowledge work. This is the foundation of the 21st century economy. Now, universal literacy today looks like this. A familiar sight in the day-to-day of the knowledge worker is the new tab interface of Mozilla Firefox. Here, algorithms serve up content for consumption, which is the nomenclature we've chosen for reading in the 21st century. Some of it is about David Bowie, or is about leadership from the Harvard Business Review, or is simply an advertisement for food. Some of it purports to be philosophy. If we double-click on this, we will very quickly see that it is actually sophistry, where it defines some vague idea of a satisfied life, proceeds to quote authorities like Dostoevsky and Frankl, eventually boils everything down to a 1, 2, 3 on how to improve your life in this still vague manner. Define what success means to you personally, create a vivid mental image, clarify your values. Ultimately making no reference to the content of life. And, well, people click on this. This is the reputation of philosophy in an era of universal literacy. It is digitized, it is algorithmic, and it is exposed to a totally impersonal market. The Sophist's article quotes Richard Byrne, but you might quote David Byrne and say, well, same as it ever was. If you read the Apology, isn't Socrates being put to death by an Athenian state on the charge that he is a sophist, ruining the youth, and evincing that the reputation of philosophy has been just as bad for 80 generations or more? You would be misreading the Greeks just like the Germans whom Nietzsche decried. The concern about philosophy in ancient Athens was a concern about the corruption of a very few aristocratic youth. Indeed, the many Greeks, even if they were citizens, let alone slaves, could not read. They did not purport to be doing philosophy. The term made no sense to them. Athens was a society ruled by the few, and the massness of the 20th and 21st centuries has desensitized us to exactly how minoritarian these despotic states were. Reading is for nerds. These University of California students, located in Berkeley, the logical conclusion of Western civilization, have a very different idea of its significance than an Athenian youth reading a text in the birthplace of Western civilization. They much prefer data science podcasts. They might use natural language processing technology to give them feedback on the concision of their essays that they write in Microsoft Word. The unprecedented massness of literacy can't be discounted from this change in the role of text, reading, and writing. Technology that encourages people to act more like robots, serves up ads, and in general tries to drive engagement with heavily text-based software, does make one wonder what is the future of conveying and communicating ideas in a meaningful and enlightening manner. The Chad answer is, of course, philosophy podcasting.